Welcome back. Now, grey whales making the longest known migration of all mammals, travelling between 15 and 20,000 kilometres. But one lone male has decided he wants to outdo his counterparts, swimming halfway around the world, travelling about 27,000 kilometres from its place of birth. The 40-footer swimming from the northern Pacific to Namibia, marking the first time the species has been recorded in the southern hemisphere. So there's a couple of questions here. Luckily, we have an expert with us, Dr. Simon Elwen from the Namibian Dolphin Project, who joins us in the beautiful, beautiful area of Walvis Bay. Dr. Elwen, good morning to you. Thanks for your time. So as I said, two things I'd like to discuss. Any idea why this little grey whale has embarked on the Comrades Marathon of grey whale migrations?
Well, we of course can never really understand the full motivation of the animal, but it is a male, or it was a male. We think it may have died in the time since it was here, and they do tend to undertake more long exploratory trips, perhaps looking for new mates and new population grounds. But this one must have come all the way over the Northwest Passage, or over essentially the North Pole, to get into the Atlantic. So an incredible journey for an animal like this.
Was he lost, do you think, or do you think this could have been deliberate? Again, not knowing how it all worked out, but it's an awful long way from home.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the recent genetic analysis of the sample, the animal was here a few years back, and when we sampled it, we only just had the analyses run with some newer techniques, and it showed it came from this western population, which lives off Russia, basically eastern Russia, and it's a very small population. So it's really interesting in that this is a small stressed population, and the animals come from that one rather than the much larger one. So it's possibly indicating that animals are from that population are spreading out, looking for new grounds. And I suspect that once it was in the Atlantic, it probably gets quite disoriented, because a lot of the cues that these guys navigate with, like undersea mountains or rivers, or even your magnetic sense, everything's going to be a little bit haywire because you're in a different ocean basin. So it looks like he just kept going and came all the way down to Namibia.
It looks like it's like the human version of taking the Pretoria Highway instead of Galuli's off-ramp. I imagine you get lost very, very quickly if you don't know where you're going. So, Doctor, now as far as this research is concerned, if you were saying this was, it seems to me like a once-off, perhaps getting a bit lost, a bit overexcited, why the research into what he was doing here? I'm not by any means a scientist or a biologist, but what would the relevance be in trying to connect where he was and why he was here if they don't naturally come to the side of the world?
Well, we're interested because there have been grey whales in the Atlantic historically. There was thought to be a population in the North Atlantic that were whaled out. So the first population ever whaled out by humans, by the Basque whalers, actually. But more recently, only really in the last 10 years, there's sort of increasing evidence that maybe it wasn't a population. Maybe this is just a case of regular solitary travelers coming in from the Pacific Ocean when the ice fields opened up. So we were very interested in, is this animal potentially some remnant of an Atlantic population, would be genetically unique, or was he definitely from the North Pacific? And in the end, he was from the North Pacific, and it's just adding evidence to the fact that perhaps we've never really had a real population of grey whales in the North Atlantic.
Oh dear, and as I was about to say goodbye to you, Doctor, it looks
like a lot of the work we're doing on whales.
I'm afraid we were starting to lose your audio there as you were wrapping that up, and I was about to say goodbye anyway. But Doctor, what incredible, fascinating work. I'm very jealous of what you do for a living, and all the best to you and the team. We're just losing the Zoom right towards the end, which is unfortunate, but gives us a good time to say goodbye to Dr. Simon Elwen, Namibia Dolphin Project. Incredible story about this grey whale, now dead, of course, but the research done since the passing. Some 27,000 kilometres swam far, far away from home.